Good morning, students. Hope all of you are fine. Beta, in this lecture, we will do revision of chapter 11, and name of this chapter is Rebels and the Raj. In this chapter, we will read about the revolt of 1857 and its representation. Means what were the causes of this revolt, from where it is started, how was it started, what was the planning and coordination for this revolt. As you know, this revolt of 1857, it is known as the first war of independence. But if we see it with the British historians, they only call it a Sepoy mutiny. But Indian historians, for them, it was the first war of independence. This revolt started 1857, as you have read in previous classes also. Here in Meerut, in cantonment, mutiny broke out, and even it spread very fast from one city to another. And the sepoy, they just captured the arms and ammunition. And now on 11th May, they reached Delhi at the Red Fort, and they met the old Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah and declared him as the leader of this revolt. So this way it was started, and soon it just spread all over the country. It was specifically very much prominent in the northern India. Now the topic is patron of rebellion. What was the patron of this rebellion, or how the mutinies begin? The sepoys, they just begin their action with a signal. Like those signals were the firing of the evening gun or the sounding of the bugle. So they first seized the bell of arms and then plundered the treasury. Means first step was to just capture the arms and ammunition, and then plundered the treasury for further uses. And afterward, they attacked government buildings like jail, treasury, telegraph office, record room, and British bungalows. And they burnt all the records also. And everything and everybody connected with the white men became a target. Means whosoever was close to the white people, they were the target for the rebellions. And even so many proclamation in Hindi, Urdu and Persian were put up in the cities to call upon the population of both Hindus and Muslim just to fight against the Firangis or these white people. And when ordinary people began joining the revolt, the targets of attack widened. It means now this Sepoy mutiny, it turned to the revolt by the mass population. Now, other towns like Lucknow, Kanpur, Bareilly, moneylenders and rich also became the objects of the rebels. They also participated in this rebellion. Peasants not only saw them as oppressors but also as allies of the British. In most places, their houses were looted and destroyed. Like these moneylenders and rich person, their houses were looted and destroyed, and the mutiny in the sepoy ranks quickly became a rebellion. Afterward, in the months of May and June, the British had no answer to the actions of the rebels. Even they are to save their own lives and the lives of their families. British rule, as one British officer noted, collapsed like a house made up of cards. Means this revolt of 1857, it was so strong. Now the next topic is that what were the lines of communication. Means how sepoys or how this rebellion, they were communicating from one place to another, because there was a similarity in the pattern. Wherever this revolt spread, there was a similarity. It means the people, they were communicating about this. So it is very clear that there was communication between the sepoy lines of various cantonments, And even after the 7th Awadh irregular cavalry had refused to accept the new cartridges in early May, and they wrote to the native infantry that they had acted for the faith and awaited the 48th orders. Means, as you know, the immediate cause of this revolt was the grease cartridges. And grease cartridges, beta, there was a rumor that these cartridges is covered with the grease sheet that is made up of fat of cow and pig. As you know that it just harmed the religious sentiments of Hindus and Muslims. So this causes disrest among the Hindu and Muslim people. Now people were just started planning and talking about the rebellion, and the pattern of the mutinies and the pieces of the evidence that suggest some sort of planning and coordination raise certain questions, like who planned for this mutiny, who were the planners. But it is very difficult to come to any result. We cannot find out any direct answers to such questions. But one incident provides clues as to how mutinies came to be so organized. Like Captain Hearsay of the Awadh military police had been given protection by his Indian subordinates during the mutiny. It means these Indian subordinates, they were already aware that the mutiny is just about to start. So even if we see, what this suggests is that some of the decisions were taken collectively, and even that the sepoys lived in lines and shared a common lifestyle, and many of them came from the same caste. So it is not difficult to imagine them sitting together to decide their own future. And the sepoys were the makers of their own rebellion. Now the next topic is about the leaders and the followers. Means like it spreaded over vast area. So who were the leaders who led this revolt, and who were the followers of this? So to fight the British, leadership and organization, very strong leadership and organization were required. For this, rebels sometimes turned to those who had been leaders before the British conquest. It means this rebellion, they just turned up to the earliest leader, like before the conquest of these Britishers. And one of the first act of the Sepoys of Meerut, as we saw, that they rushed to Delhi, to Bahadur Shah Zafar. And they appealed to the old Mughal emperor to accept the leadership of the revolt. This acceptance of leadership took its time in coming, and Bahadur Shah's first reaction was the horror and rejection. And beta, do you know that how Bahadur Shah Zafar accepted this leadership? Beta, some sepoys, they just moved into the Mughal court within the Red Fort. Then old emperor realized that he had very few options, so he agreed to be the nominal leader. And similarly, same scenes were enacted. Like in Kanpur, the sepoys and the people of the town gave Nana Sahib the successor to Peshwa Bajirao II. So he had also no choice. In Jhansi, the Rani Lakshmi Bai was forced by the popular pressure around her to assume the leadership of the uprising. Same thing was with the Kuvar Singh also. He was a local zamindar in Ara in Bihar. In Awadh, where the displacement of the popular Nawab Wazid Ali Shah and the annexation of the state were still very fresh in the memory of the people, the populace in Lucknow celebrated the fall of British rule by hailing Birjis Qadar, the young son of the Nawab, as their leader. As you know, beta, Awadh, it was annexed by the issue of misgovernance in 1856, and in the Indian British Army, most of the sepoys, they were recruited from Awadh only. That is why people of Awadh, they were against British people. And this Birjis Qadar, he was the son of Nawab Wazid Ali Shah, and he was declared as the leader of this revolt. And not everywhere were the leaders people of the court. like Ranis, Rajas, Nawabs, and Talukdar. Talukdar, beta, they were very important people, elites. Often the message of rebellion was carried by ordinary men and women, and in places by religious men too. It means now this revolt, it became the voice of the masses. From Meerut, there were reports that a fakir had appeared riding on an elephant and that the sepoys were visiting him frequently. And even in Lucknow, after the annexation of Awadh, there were many religious leaders and self-styled prophets who preached the destruction of British rule. It means whether those were Hindus or Muslim, they were just preaching, they were just against the British rule. Even local leaders emerged, urging peasants, zamindar, and tribal to revolt. Now, these rebellion, they just wanted to involve every category of the people. Shah Amal mobilized the villagers of Paragna Barot in UP. Gonu, a tribal cultivator of Singh Bhum in Chota Nagpur, became a rebel leader of the Kol tribals of the region. So this way, now this revolt, it just spreaded in the vast area. Now the question is, what was the reason? What were the rumors? But rumors and prophecies played a part in moving people to action. As this rumor of greased cartridges, it just spreaded from one area to another, and in every cantonment area, now these sepoys, they denied to use those cartridges. And the sepoys who had arrived in Delhi from Meerut had told Bahadur Shah about bullets coated with the fat of cows and pigs, and the biting those bullets would corrupt their caste and religion. And they were referring to the cartridges of the Enfield rifle, which had just been given to them. The British tried to explain to the sepoy that this was not the case, but the rumor of the new cartridges were greased with the fat of cows and pigs, it just spread like the wildfire across the sepoys line of North India. And this is one rumor whose origin can be traced, like according to one report of January 1857, a low caste Khalasi who worked in the magazine in Dum Dum had asked a Brahmin Sipai for a drink of water from his lota. As you know that casteism, this caste hierarchy, it was very much prominent in the Indian culture. And that Brahman, he just denied to give water. So at that time, this lower caste person said that you will soon lose your caste and soon you have to bite cartridges covered with the fat of cow and pigs. So this way, this rumor started. And we don't know about the authenticity of this report, but once this rumor started, no amount of assurance from British officer could stop its circulation, and the fear it spread among the sepoys. And this was not the only rumor. So many other rumors were also there. Like there was a rumor that British government had hatched a conspiracy to destroy the caste and religion of Hindus and Muslims. To this end, the rumor said the British had mixed the bone dust of cows and pigs into the flour. कि जो वो flour था, that it is mixed with the bones of cow and pig. And that flour that was sold in the market. So in towns and cantonments, sepoys and the common people refused to touch the atta, wheat flour. And there was fear that the British wanted to convert Indians to Christianity. Panic spread fast. British officers tried to allay their fears, but in vain. And even these fears stirred men to action. So rumors were not the only thing circulating at the time. Reports came from various parts of North India that chapatis were being distributed from the village to village. Beta, this was means we don't know, we don't have any source about it, but this was the thing that people, they were just distributing the chapati from one village to another. Like a person would come at night and give a chapati to the watchman of the village and ask him to make 5 more chapatis and distribute to the next village. and so on. The meaning and the purpose of the distribution of the chapatis, it was not clear. What message they just wanted to give, it was not clear. But there is no doubt that people read it as an omen, as a very specific message. So beta, this was the topic for today about the revolt of 1857, that how it started and what was the immediate cause of it, and how the masses they joined this rebel. So hope all of you have understood the topic. Thank you and have a nice day.